What is up with the City of Sedona and Chamber of Commerce? The unprecedented partnership stirs up a lot of controversy, so let's take a closer look, Donna and I, at why and why not.
In a nutshell, it is a public-private no-bid contract between the City of Sedona and the Sedona Chamber of Commerce. This partnership blurs the line of transparency, eliminates accountability, crosses jurisdictional lines, creating numerous conflicts of interest.
It's best explained looking at how it originated. In 2013, an ordinance was brought forth by the Chamber of Commerce and the Sedona Lodging Council to devote financial resources to the promotion of tourism and destination marketing.
The Chamber and Lodging came to the City of Sedona and requested to increase the bed tax from 3% to 3.5% to attract more tourists. Of that tax, it was decided that 55% of all monies collected would be earmarked for marketing through the Sedona Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Vice Mayor Scott Jablow summed it up on the social media that this wasn't a gift from the city to the chamber because it was offered by the Lodging Council. And City Councilwoman Jessica Williamson stands by that too, stating the lodging industry did approach the city and volunteered to tax themselves and tourists. And that's a fact. Well, we started looking for statutes that gave the Lodging Council a right to raise taxes. And what we find instead is the 2017 Arizona Revised Statute that relates to the hospitality industry, hotels and restaurants included, whereby a city shall not discriminate against hospitality industry businesses in the collection of fees. It goes on to state such fees must be imposed on all other businesses with the corresponding equal dollar amount. And when you look at the Arizona gift clause, neither the state or city shall give or loan its credit to any corporation. What we hear is yes, but the residents don't pay it.
But this ripple effect is widespread. Small businesses have difficulty competing. It eliminates new competitors without deep pockets. Many of our small businesses rely on affordable lodging for workshops, retreats, and events. The Chamber of Commerce and its own membership is affected. It has declined by nearly 50% since the contract was put in place, and dues of membership have dwindled right along with that. Visitors, family, friends that stay in Sedona hotels pay more to stay here.
And with that in mind, let's look at the Memorandum of Understanding created between the City of Sedona and the Chamber of Commerce in 2017. This document solidified the partnership between the city and the chamber. Now let's look at that timeline now.
The bed tax ordinance went into effect January 2014 without voter approval. The City-Chamber partnership was established in 2017. It is a conflict of interest, and it was from day one. In fact, shortly after, the Attorney General ordered the city to claw back that contract with the Chamber to avoid violating the gift clause. But that didn't happen. When the contract was redone in 2019, the 55% bed tax was still there. Then, on June 29, 2022, the conflict of interest is finally discovered, or at least addressed, by City Council at the Chamber City Budget meeting. The councilors themselves make a case that many people in Sedona have raised since 2014. Let's listen to what they are saying and keep in mind while they are addressing multiple topics as they relate to the budget, not just one particular item.
If you were limiting it to your members, you might only be helping out the
Right.
part of the market that we're the least happy about.
Right.
Corporate owners or whatever. So
I'm looking at this as
we're your client. We have contracted your services for a number of things. That's what this budget is about, having you provide these issues. I want to be crystal clear about what it is that we give, because I think that's where we've run into some trouble in the past, is maybe a lack of clarity around some messaging from us to you. I want to make sure that public monies are used to serve the public good, and that it's going to reach not just membership base. So I don't know, am I absolutely clear on that?
But Michelle, you keep on saying members, and except for the last time you said the members would be paying amongst their own group to offset what we're not paying for. That's fine. But, will you be sending, or is it the intent, I want to get this right, sending customers to membership or to every business? You're not targeting any just membership, because this is, like Councilor Kinsella said, this is public money that has to go to all businesses in the city. So our businesses are getting the benefit of it, hopefully the revenue from it, not just member businesses.
And we do have a membership base that we hold dear, and that we need to commit to them based on the dues that they've paid.
Right.
So we have a commitment to them that we have to fulfill too. So I think we need time to figure out what this looks like.
And
I'm not sure why that's important if it's
Right.
for all of Sedona, in terms of if you go to a meeting and you're presenting to people and some of your contacts there say, well, we've got a hot lead for 100 rooms we need, and they say, we're looking at property X. If it's not a member, do you turn them to property Y then as a result that is a member? My direction would be to say, do not try to divert them, but let them go and answer them or drive them and be acceptable to all of ours are great, so that we don't exclude those that may be able to handle that event.
Right.
What I hear Michelle say is, until that happens, it's going to be more imperfect. They don't have a database set up, a way to do that right now.
But I don't think it's going to be
Fine,
solvable.
if we have time.
don't think it'll
I
be
don't know that
solvable.
we're going to resolve the issue of a separate tourism bureau from the chamber today.
I don't know either.
But I do think,
I don't think that's anticipated.
I think it's anticipated to begin the discussion.
right, I don't think it can be resolved. I agree with you, Mayor, not resolved today, but that was, again, the purpose of streamlining a budget this year and making sure that we're getting the services that we want, so that we could move toward a clearer separation of these duties. Because it needs to be said, there's just an inherent conflict between the fact that...
Okay, that is a really different discussion. We're not doing that now.
We believe we're the client, and we should be guiding the expenditures of public funds. And I hear from chamber leaders and Michelle that's a huge issue when they have a membership that has expectations from the dues that they pay. And therein is the rub that I don't see how that gets resolved given the existing structure, and that's all I'll say about it.
I object to, and again, this speaks to your point about what's on here, because if it's something that only links to chamber members, again, we're clouding that line about the services we're trying to provide for management versus marketing and benefiting members only. And I'm trying to keep that line as clear as possible.
I mean, in other words, businesses that are non-members will still get benefit
But that's
from the
still
business
not.
that's coming in through our membership initially.
But it's still not appropriate to me that you're business A and you're a chamber member, and your business B offering the same product and you're not a chamber member, and for any public dollar under the Tourism Bureau to be pushing people toward the chamber member over the other business is not appropriate to me.
I think what Michelle, and I think this is a real life issue, is while in the long term, a year from now, that's where we want to be, right now, Michelle is in a position of holding a position in which she has responsibility to a chamber as well as to the city. I think the city can either not fund any contract or grant her the grace period during the transition?
But I think it's bigger than that. I think we need to, not just a matter of transition, which is not only thinking about how we're going to be organized, but giving our new leadership a chance to, achieve a different level of respect and trust than we might have had with before.
Okay, so
I would just like to say that for all these initiatives, there has to be metrics that show whether they work or they don't work. And I agree that there's a number of different tools and strategies and tactics that have to be measured. And measurement to me, I think it was Jessica who said this earlier, is a change of behavior. It isn't the number of impressions. Okay, somebody read something. But it's what do they do after they read it? How does their behavior change? And we have to figure out a way to look at that and to measure them. So I don't support this at all.
Place, I see these two working together, communications manager being boots on the ground. They're the ones that have the relationship with the Red Rock News and the Verde Independent and the Villager. Ken helps us more from a top line strategic level and helps us to, make sure that what's being communicated here locally to our residents, so help them better understand what we do as an organization, the way we partner with the city. This is kind of what Ken helps us with.
This is one that we spent an awful lot of time talking about in the work group. I mean, we dove into this one repeatedly and came out after several conversations always thinking that this is not appropriate for the city to be funding. This is a chamber function, again, as well. It should be coming out of the chamber budget. This is not something, this is a communications for the Chamber of Commerce, not for the Tourism Bureau. I mean, yes, there's a mix, but I believe there's assistance from this individual for the column that goes in the Red Rock News. This is promoting of the chamber and what the chamber does, and the work group did not feel that this was appropriate to be coming out of the public funding in the tourism budget.
So why is it just now apparent to the City Council that virtually every area of tourism marketing and management is a conflict of interest for the Chamber's relationship with its members? The conflict of interest has been the same since 2014, and the public is now starting to realize that public-private contracts are helping to fuel the direction of Sedona with little to no input from the people. Sedona has been fast-tracked for corporate takeover, focusing on the tourist's buck. So public awareness and trying to appease the disgruntled voters right here at election time could largely be driving this narrative. So, who benefits from this city-chamber partnership?
Most definitely the chamber, its members, the lodging group. They gain unlimited resources and power. Since their partnership was created, the chamber has raked in more than $30 million tax dollars, and they have consistent access to city council guidance. They have received public funding and have been able to use it exclusively for the benefit of chamber members only. The chamber establishes its own unit of measure, provides its own performance report without any true oversight. The chamber's membership actually disqualifies them from being a tourism authority, as 71% of their members are either not in tourism or within the city limits. Driving home the point that has a huge conflict of interest to be using in-city business tax dollars to market regional memberships of the chamber. All this while concerned residents and small business owners get 3 minutes to speak with relatively no feedback.
This puts an undue burden on our in-city businesses. Revenues they generate advertise their competitors on the outskirts of the incorporated city who have no imposed bed tax. And remember, the bed tax is not limited to the chamber members, but the chamber is bound to its membership base. So let's sum this all up.
When this no-bid contract went into effect, policies and initiatives changed. It caused discrimination against the in-city businesses. It was taxation without representation. Residents were told it's okay. It's the tourists who pay. Business were told it was a bed tax. It's free marketing for you. The false narrative propaganda began and even told our residents and business owners that the state required 55% of the city bed tax to promote the region.
So the chamber also added Tourism Bureau as a trade name, misleading the public that it is a legitimate tourism bureau when it is not.
Proposition 458 fuels unlimited taxes, unlimited spending, and as the budget increases, unlimited borrowing power. This is a dangerous recipe for a community.
And that's why it's imperative to vote no on Proposition 458. It's time to go back to the basics. It's time for a reset. Let's give our new mayor, our new council people, a great opportunity to start anew with a new focus and a new direction that includes the vision of the people.